What's going on, family? I'm back with another video, and as promised, this video is going to be about the apocalypse of Elijah, the two witnesses, and the mark of the beast. So, the apocalypse of Elijah is five chapters long, and there are not many verses within the five chapters. So I'm going to read the apocalypse of Elijah all the way through. I might stop here and there to make a few comments, but I'm going to read the apocalypse of Elijah all the way through. I'm going to point out a few things within the book of Elijah, and then I'm going to switch to the Bible, to the book of Revelations, mainly like chapter 11, which is about the two witnesses, and the chapter about the mark of the beast. So, the word of the Most High came to me, saying, Son of man, say to his people, why do you add sin to your sins and anger the true God who created you? Don't love the world or the things which are in the world, for the boasting of the world and its destruction belong to the devil. Remember that the truth of glory, who created everything, had mercy upon you, so that he might save us from the captivity of this age. For many times the devil desired not to let the sun rise above the earth, and not to let the earth yield fruit, since he desires to consume men like a fire which rages in stubble, and he desires to swallow them like water. Therefore, on account of this, the truth of glory, or the Most High of glory, had mercy upon us, and he sent his Son to the world so that he might save us from the captivity. He did not inform an angel or an archangel or any principality when he was about to come to us, but he changed himself to be like a man when he was about to come to us, so that he might save us from flesh. Therefore, become sons to him, since he is a father to you. Remember that he has prepared thrones and crowns for you in heaven, saying, Everyone who will obey me will receive thrones and crowns among those who are mine. The truth said, I will write my name upon their forehead, and I will seal their right hand, and they will not hunger or thirst. This is one of the verses that I'm going to get into, verse 9 of chapter 1. The Lord said, I will write my name upon their forehead, and I will seal their right hand, and they will not hunger. And the reason I'm going to talk about this one is because in the book of Revelation, the beast in the book of Revelation does the same thing. The beast causes all men to get a mark in their forehead or in their right hand. And if they don't have that mark, they won't be able to buy or sell. So that's one of the things that I want to get into, because we see that the Most High does this as well in the book of Elijah, as well as in the book of Revelation, when he tells the angel to seal the 144,000. Neither will the son of lawlessness prevail over them, nor will the thrones hinder them, but they will walk with the angels up to my city. Now as for the sinners, they will be shamed, and they will not pass by the thrones, but the thrones of death will seize them and rule over them, because the angels will not agree with them. They have alienated themselves from his dwellings. Hear, O wise men of the land, concerning the deceivers who will multiply in the last times, so that they will set down for themselves doctrines which do not belong to the Most High, setting aside the law of the Most High, those who have made their belly their God, saying, the fast does not exist, nor did the Most High create it. making themselves strangers to the covenant of the Most High, and robbing themselves of the glorious promises. Now these are not ever correctly established in the firm faith. Therefore, don't let those people lead you astray. Remember that from the time when he created the heavens, the truth created the fast for a benefit to men on account of the passions and desires which fight against you, so that the evil will not inflame you. But it is a pure fast which I have created, said the truth. The one who fasts continually will not sin, although jealousy and strife are within him. Let the pure one fast. But whenever the one who fasts is not pure, he has angered the truth and also the angels, and he has grieved his soul, gathering up wrath for himself for the day of wrath. Who among you, if he is honored in his craft, will go forth to the field without a tool in his hand? Or who will go forth to the battle to fight without a breastplate on? If he is found, will he not be killed because he despised the service of the king? Likewise, no one is able to enter the holy place if he is double-minded. The one who is double-minded in his prayer is darkness to himself, and even the angels do not trust him. Therefore, be single-minded in the truth at all times, so that you might know every moment. Furthermore, concerning the kings of Assyria and the dissolution of the heaven and the earth and the things beneath the earth, or dissolution of the heaven and the earth and the things beneath the earth. Know therefore, those who are mine will not be overcome, says the truth, nor will they fear in the battle. When they see a king who rises in the north, who will be called the king of Assyria and the king of injustice, he will increase. He will increase his battles and his disturbances against Egypt. The land will groan together because your children will be seized. Many will desire death in those days, but death will flee from them. That's also from the book of Revelations. It said men will seek death in those days, but they will be unable to die, or death will flee from them. And a king who will be called the King of Peace will rise up in the west. He will run upon the sea like a roaring lion. He will kill the king of injustice, and he will take vengeance on Egypt with battles and much bloodshed. It will come to pass in those days that he will command a peace and a vain gift in Egypt. He will give peace to these who are holy, saying, the name of the Most High is one. He will give honors to the saints and an exalting to the places of the saints. He will give vain gifts to the house of the Most High. He will wander around in the cities of Egypt with guile, without their knowing. He will take count of the holy places. He will weigh the idols of the heathen. He will take count of their wealth. He will establish priests for them. He will command that the wise men and the great ones of the people be seized, and they will be brought to the metropolis which is by the sea, saying, there is but one language, but when you hear peace and joy exist, I will blank. I forgot to I forgot to say that some of the apocalypse of Elijah is destroyed, so you won't get the full book of Elijah or the full apocalypse of Elijah, because some of it has been destroyed. So if you ever see 3 dots, that means the rest is cut off because it's been destroyed. So now I will tell you his signs so that you might know him. For he has 2 sons, one on his right and one on his left. The one on his right will receive a demonic face, and he will fight against the name of the Most High. Now 4 kings will descend from that king. In his 30th year, he will come up to Memphis. and he will build a temple in Memphis. On that day, his own son will rise up against him and kill him. The whole land will be disturbed. On that day, he will issue an order over the whole land, so that the priests of the land and all of the saints will be seized, saying, "You will repay doubly every gift and all of the good things which my father gave to you." He will shut up the holy places. He will take their houses. He will take their sons prisoner. He will order sacrifices and abominations, and bitter evils will be done in the land. He will appear before the sun and the moon. On that day, the priests of the land will tear their clothes. Woe to you, O rulers of Egypt, in those days, because your day has passed. The violence being done to the poor will turn against you, and your children will be seized as plunder. In those days, the cities of Egypt will groan, for the voice of the one who sells and the one who buys will not be heard. The markets of the cities of Egypt will become dusty. Those who are in Egypt will weep together. They will desire death, but death will flee and leave them. In those days, they will run up to the rocks and leap off, saying, "Fall upon us," and still they will not die. A double affliction will multiply upon the whole land. In those days, the king will command, and all the nursing women will be seized and brought to him bound. They will suckle serpents, and their blood will be drawn from their breasts, and it will be applied as poison to the arrows. On account of their distress of the cities, he will command again, and all the young lads from 12 years and under will be seized and presented in order to teach them to shoot arrows. The midwife who is upon the earth will grieve. The woman who has given birth will lift her eyes to heaven, saying, "Why did I sit upon the birth stool to bring forth a son to the earth?" The barren woman and the virgin will rejoice, saying, "It is our time to rejoice, because we have no children upon the earth, but our children are in heaven." In those days, 3 kings will arise among the Persians, and they will take captive the Jews who are in Egypt. They will bring them to Jerusalem, and they will inhabit it and dwell there. Then when you hear that there is security in Jerusalem, the peace plan was signed September 15th, right? The peace plan between Israel, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates was signed September 15th. And this verse in chapter 2 of the Apocalypse of Elijah, chapter 2, verse 40, coincides with 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes. So chapter 2, verse 40 of the Apocalypse of Elijah, it coincides with that by saying, then when you hear that there is security in Jerusalem or safety in Jerusalem, because some of the verses are interpreted as peace and security and not peace and safety. It says, tear your garments, O priest of the land, because the son of perdition will soon come. So the sudden destruction in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3 comes from the son of perdition. In those days, the lawless one will appear in the holy places. And then the rest is cut off again. In those days, the kings of the Persians will hasten, and they will stand to fight with the kings of Assyria. 4 kings will fight with 3. They will spend 3 years in that place until they carry off the wealth of the temple, which is in that place. In those days, blood will flow from Kos to Memphis. The river of Egypt will become blood, and they will not be able to drink from it for 3 days. Woe to Egypt and those who are in it. In those days, a king will arise in the city which is called the city of the sun, and the whole land will be disturbed. He will flee to Memphis with the Persians. In the 6th year, The Persian king will plot an ambush in Memphis. They will kill the Assyrian king. The Persian kings, I'm sorry. The Persians will take vengeance on the land, and they will command to kill all the heathen and all the lawless ones. They will command to build the temples of the saints. They will give double gifts to the house of the Most High. They will say, the name of the Most High is one. The whole land will hail the Persians. Even the remnant, who did not die under the afflictions, will say, the truth has sent us a righteous king, so that the land will not become a desert. He will command that no royal matter be presented for 3 years and 6 months. The land will be full of good and an abundant well-being. Those who are alive will go to those who are dead, saying, rise up and be with us in this rest. So, verse 53 of chapter 2 is basically a reference to, or a precursor to, the rise of the dead in the book of Revelations, when it says that the day has come which the dead shall be risen, or something like that. I can't remember verbatim, but there is a day in the book of Revelations where the dead shall rise. So that is basically a reference or a precursor to that verse. Chapter 3. In the 4th year of that king, the son of lawlessness will appear, saying, I am the Christ, although he is not. Don't believe him. When the Christ comes, he will come in the manner of a covey of doves, with the crown of doves surrounding him. He will walk upon the heavens' vaults, with the sign of the cross leading him. The whole world will behold him like the sun which shines from the east horizon to the western, from the eastern horizon to the western. This is how he will come, with all his angels surrounding him. But the son of lawlessness will begin to stand again in the holy places. He will multiply his signs and his wonders in the presence of everyone. He will do the works which the Christ did, except for raising the dead alone. In this you will know that he is the son of lawlessness, because he is unable to give life. For behold, I will tell you his signs, so that you might know him. He is a blank of a skinny-legged young lad, having a tuft of gray hair at the front of his bald head. His eyebrows will reach to his ears. There is a leprous bare spot on the front of his hands. He will transform himself in the presence of those who see him. He will become a young child. He will become old. He will transform himself in every sign, but the signs of his head will not be able to change. Therein you will know that he is the son of lawlessness. So in chapter 3, they give a description of the AntiChrist, and they tell us how we will be able to know that he is the AntiChrist. They don't give the name of the AntiChrist because, as we know from the book of Revelation, the beast will cause all to get a mark that coincides with the number of his name, which is 666. And some interpretations are 616. Either way, even in the Apocalypse of Elijah, they don't give the name of the beast or the name of the Antichrist. But in the book of Elijah, or in the Apocalypse of Elijah, you get a clear description of the Antichrist as opposed to the book of Revelation. Chapter 4. The virgin, whose name is Tabitha, will hear that the shameless one has revealed himself in the holy places, and she will put on her garment of fine linen, and she will pursue him up to Judea, scolding him up to Jerusalem, saying, O shameless one, O son of lawlessness, O you who have been hostile to all the saints. Then the shameless one will be angry at the virgin. He will pursue her up to the regions of the sunset. He will suck her blood in the evening. He will cast her upon the temple, and she will become a healing for the people. She will rise up at dawn, and she will live and scold him, saying, O shameless one, you have no power against my soul or my body, because I live in the truth always. And also my blood which you have cast upon the temple has become a healing for the people. Then, when Elijah and Enoch hear that the shameless one has revealed himself in the holy place, they will come down and fight with him. Excuse me for 1 second. I got my water. I keep telling y'all water is good for the soul. If you don't believe me, get you a garden. See how much plants need water to survive. All right, so I'm going to start at verse 7. Then when Elijah and Enoch hear that the shameless one has revealed himself in the holy place, they will come down and fight with him, saying, the shameless one will hear, and he will be angry, and he will fight with them in the marketplace of the great city, and he will spend 7 days fighting with them. And they will spend 3½ days in the marketplace dead, while all the people see them. But on the 4th day, they will rise up, and they will scold him, saying, O shameless one, O son of lawlessness, are you indeed not ashamed of yourself, since you are leading astray the people of the Most High, for whom you did not suffer? Do you not know that we live in the truth? As the words were spoken, they prevailed over him, saying, furthermore, we will lay down before the flesh for the spirit, and we will kill you, and since you are unable to speak on that day, because we are always strong in the truth. But you are always hostile to the Most High. The shameless one will hear, and he will be angry and fight them, and the whole city will surround them. On that day, they will shout up to heaven as they shine, while all the people and all the world see them. The son of lawlessness will not prevail over them. He will be angry at the land, and he will seek to sin against the people. He will pursue all of the saints. They and the priests of the land will be brought back bound. He will kill them and destroy them, blank them, and their eyes will be removed with iron spikes. He will remove their skin from their heads. He will remove their nails one by one. He will command that vinegar and lime be put in their noses. Now those who are unable to bear up under the tortures of that king will take gold and flee over the fords to the desert places. They will lie down as one who sleeps. The truth will receive their spirits and their souls to himself. Their flesh will petrify. No wild animals will eat them until the last day of the great judgment. And they will rise up and find a place of rest, but they will not be in the kingdom of the Christ as those who have endured, because the truth said, I will grant to them that they sit on my right hand. They will receive favor over others, and they will triumph over the son of lawlessness, and they will witness the dissolution of heaven and earth. They will receive the thrones of glory and the crowns. The 60 righteous ones who are prepared for this hour will hear. And they will gird on the breastplate of the Most High, and they will run to Jerusalem and fight with the shameless one, saying, all powers which the prophets have done from the beginning you have done, but you were unable to raise the dead, because you have no power to give life. Therein we have known that you are the son of lawlessness. He will hear, and he will be angry, and command to kindle altars, and the righteous ones will be bound. They will be lifted up and burned. And on that day the heart of many will harden, and they will flee from him, saying, this is not the Christ. The Christ does not kill the righteous. He does not pursue men so that he might seek them. but he persuades them with signs and wonders. On that day, the Christ will pity those who are his own, and he will send from heaven his 64,000 angels, each of whom has 6 wings. The sound will move heaven and earth when they give praise and glory. Now those upon whose forehead the name of Christ is written, and upon whose hand is the seal, both the small and the great, will be taken up upon their wings and lifted up before his wrath. So that is a reference to the 144,000, because in the sealing of the 144,000, it was commanded that the angels should not touch the earth or harm the earth until the 144,000 were sealed. Verse 5, then Gabriel and Uriel will become a pillar of light, leading them into the Holy Land. It will be granted to them to eat from the tree of life. They will wear white garments, and angels will watch over them. They will not thirst, nor will the son of lawlessness be able to prevail over them. And on that day, the earth will be disturbed, and the sun will darken, and peace will be removed from the earth. The birds will fall on the earth dead. The earth will be dry. The waters of the sea will dry up. The sinners will groan upon the earth, saying, what have you done to us, O son of lawlessness, saying, I am the Christ, when you are the devil? You are unable to save yourself, so that you might save us. You produced signs in our presence until you alienated us from the Christ who created us. Woe to us, because we listened to you. Lo, now we will die in a famine, where indeed is now the trace of a righteous one, and we will worship him. Where indeed is now the trace of a righteous one, and we will worship him. Or where indeed is the one who will teach us, and we will appeal to him. Now indeed we will be wrathfully destroyed, because we disobeyed the Most High. We went to the deep places of the sea, and we did not find water. We dug in the rivers and papyrus reeds, and we did not find water. Then on that day, the shameless one will speak, saying, woe to me, because my time has passed by. For me, excuse me, they don't have like the correct punctuation, and a lot of the words are misspelled. So, woe to me, because my time has passed by for me, while I was saying that my time would not pass by for me. My years became months, and my days have passed away as dust passes away. Now therefore I will perish together with you. Now therefore run forth to the desert, seize the robbers and kill them. Bring up the saints, for because of them the earth yields fruit. For because of them the sun shines upon the earth. For because of them the dew will come upon the earth. The sinners will weep, saying, you made us hostile to the Most High. If you are able, rise up and pursue them. Then he will take his fiery wings and fly out after the saints. He will fight with them again. The angels will hear and come down. They will fight with him a battle of many swords. It will come to pass on that day that the truth will hear and command the heaven and the earth with great wrath, and they will send for fire. And the fire will prevail over the earth 72 cubits. It will consume the sinners and the devils like stubble. A true judgment will occur. On that day, the mountains and the earth will utter speech. The byways will speak with one another, saying, have you heard today the voice of a man who has not come to the judgment of the Son of the Most High? The sins of each one will stand against him in the place where they were committed, whether those of the day or of the night. Those who belong to the righteous and blank will see the sinners, and those who persecuted them, and those who handed them over to death in their torments. Then the sinners in torment will see the place of the righteous, and thus grace will occur. In those days, that which the righteous will ask for many times will be given to them. After these things, Elijah and Enoch will come down. They will lay down the flesh of the world, and they will receive their spiritual flesh. They will pursue the son of lawlessness and kill him, since he is not able to speak. On that day, he will dissolve in their presence like ice which has dissolved by a fire. He will perish like a serpent which has no breath in it. They will say to him, "Your time has passed by for you. Now, therefore, you warned those who believe you will perish. They will be cast into the bottom of the abyss, and it will be closed for them." On that day, the Christ, the King, and all his saints will come forth from heaven. He will burn the earth. He will spend 1,000 years upon it, because the sinners prevailed over it. He will create a new heaven and a new earth. No deadly devil will exist in them. He will rule with his saints, ascending and descending, while they are always with the angels, and they are with the Christ for 1,000 years. All right, so that's the apocalypse of Elijah. Excuse me 1 second. And we can clearly see in the apocalypse of Elijah that it gives a clear description of not only the AntiChrist, but the two witnesses in the book of Revelations, or the book of Revelation. So I'm going to go to chapter 11 of the book of Revelation, which is about the two witnesses. So now we have a clear understanding of Revelation chapter 11 with the two witnesses, because we know that Enoch and Elijah are the two witnesses. "And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of the Most High, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without, but the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth." If you don't know, that's 1,260 days, or 3.5 years. So they shall prophesy for 3.5 years, clothed in sackcloth. These are the two olive trees, and the two candlesticks standing before the Most High of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our truth was crucified. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. And in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted, and gave glory to the Most High of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, so where was the sealing of the 100? Yep. Revelation chapter 7, the sealing of the 144,000. So we have a clear understanding of Revelation chapter 11 and the two witnesses being Enoch and Elijah, because we read the apocalypse of Elijah. So now what I really want an understanding on is Revelation chapter 7 and the sealing of the 144,000. More importantly, the seal of the AntiChrist, or the seal of the beast. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. And of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. All right, so with the seal of the 144,000, we see that it's only commanded that they be sealed in their forehead and not in their right hand. But in the book of Elijah, we see that it has been done where the saints were sealed in their forehead and in their right hand. And I don't remember where the mark of the beast was. What chapter? I think it's chapter 14. I'm not sure. That's the song of the 144,000. Y'all bear with me. Here it is, chapter 13. All right, so this is about the mark of the beast. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy, which is the name of the Antichrist, or the name of the beast. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. And I guess when it says he was like unto a leopard, in the description of the Antichrist in the Apocalypse of Elijah, it says he has leprous spots on his hands, right? So he has the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? So obviously they believe that the beast is the Christ, because that's how he is going to come. He is going to come in the name of Christ. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, or 3.5 years. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And this is reference to when Enoch and Elijah finally come back and they make war against him and they kill him. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So this is the other Antichrist, I suppose, I guess. So, there is scripture that says there will be many antichrists in the last days, right? So this is the second Antichrist, or the third Antichrist, if you consider the dragon to be our Antichrist as well. The dragon from Revelation chapter 12. And he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, or 666. So, in the marking of the 144,000, we see that they are exclusively marked in their foreheads, or only marked in their foreheads. In the mark of the beast, we see that he causes all to get a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, or in their right hand or in their foreheads, I should say. But we also know from the apocalypse of Elijah that the Most High does the same thing when he seals the saints. He marks them in their foreheads or in their right hand. So this is where confusion comes in. So I know that the 144,000 will be sealed. But will those not counted among the 144,000 also be sealed is the question. Because if they are, they will be sealed in their foreheads and in their right hand, I would think, right? If you're not a part of the 144,000, but you are sealed to be saved from destruction, you will be sealed in your forehead or in your right hand. But we see that the AntiChrist also does this. If you don't have the seal or the mark in your forehead or in your right hand, you won't be able to buy or sell. So I believe this is where the difference comes in. If you don't have this mark, you won't be able to buy or sell. If you have the mark of the Most High, it doesn't matter. I'm trying to find a better way to explain this. The seal of the Most High has nothing to do with buying or selling. The mark of the beast has everything to do with buying and selling. If you don't have the mark of the beast, you can't buy or sell. If you don't have the seal of the Most High, then you are not saved from destruction. That's the best way I can explain that, and that's the best way that I can put it. This is my understanding of it, though. If you don't have the mark of the beast, then you won't be able to buy or sell. If you don't have the seal of the Most High, you won't be saved from destruction. That's the way I see it. Also, it says the mark of the beast. So it's a kind of mark. It's not a seal, it's a mark. But I'm trying to understand the difference between the seal and the mark, right? Because a seal would be a kind of mark, in my opinion. If you're being sealed in on your forehead or on your right hand, then you have to have some type of mark. So it's a very confusing story or whatever. It's very confusing to understand, which is why you have to ask the Most High for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, or the spirit of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is the Holy Spirit. You have to ask the Most High for the spirit of truth. So, in my opinion, like I said, the only difference between the mark of the beast and the seal of the Most High is that if you don't have the seal of the Most High, you won't be saved from destruction. If you don't have the mark of the beast, you won't be able to buy or sell. So, the point of this video was just to tie the apocalypse of Elijah into the book of Revelation. I also have other books. This is the apocalypse of Abraham. I might do a video on this one. There are also other books, the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilee, the book of Asher, the apocalypse of Thomas, the war scroll, the sons of dark against the sons of light, which is very fragmented. There are like no complete versions of the war scroll. Excuse me. So it would be very hard to read. It's like if you want to read it for yourself, you can. It's in the lost books of the Bible and the pseudepigrapha. If you want to read it for yourself, you can, but it's very, very fragmented. A lot of it was destroyed, so it's very hard to get an understanding of it. It made my head hurt when I tried to read it, so I'm just be honest with y'all. And then on top of that, I also have I always forget how to go back. Dude, how do I go back? There we go. All right, so I also have the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. So I read about the sealing of the 144,000 and how 12,000 from each tribe were sealed. This is the testament of the 12 patriarchs, which are the 12 progenitors of the 12 tribes of Israel, or the 12 sons of Israel, aka Jacob, also known as Jacob. So these are their testaments. You see, you have the testament of Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob and Leah, the testament of Simeon, the secondborn of Jacob and Leah, the testament of Levi, the third son of Jacob and Leah, the testament of Judah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah, the testament of Issachar, the fifth son of Jacob and Leah, the testament of Zebulun, the sixth son of Jacob and Leah, the testament of Dan, the seventh son of Jacob and Bilhah, or however you say that, the testament of Naphtali, the eighth son of Jacob and Bilhah, the testament of Gad, the ninth son of Jacob and Zilpah, the testament of Asher, the 10th son of Jacob and Zilpah, the testament of Joseph, the 11th son of Jacob and Rachel, and the testament of Benjamin, the 12th son of Jacob and Rachel. So these are their last wills and testaments to their sons and to their brothers, or to their children and to their brothers. The most interesting were the testament of Levi, the testament of Judah, and the testament of Joseph, because those three had a lot to do with the book of Revelation. So I might do individual videos of all 12. I might do readings because they're not long. Like I said, they're last will and testament, so they're not long. So I might do a video for each son of Israel or each son of Jacob. But if you want to read them for yourself, like I said, the name of the book is The Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs. And the name of the other book is The Lost Books of the Bible, The Lost Books of the Bible, The Rejected Texts, Apocrypha, and Pseudepigrapha. If you want to read those lost books. So we can get a better understanding of what's going on in the end times and what's going to come in the end times from the apocalypse of Elijah, the book of Revelation, the apocalypse of Abraham, the apocalypse of Thomas, the testament of the 12 patriarchs. You get a better understanding of the end times, right? The coming of the Son of Man, which is Elijah, and the two witnesses, which is Elijah and Enoch. You get a better understanding of what's going on in the world, what's taking place, and what's going to take place. So, like I've been saying throughout my YouTube career, I should say, throughout my videos, is that you can't just depend on the Bible. You can't just depend on one book. I read many books because the Bible only gives you a fragmented story. It only gives you half the story. And on top of that, they've infiltrated the Bible with a lot of lies, basically. So you have to have that spirit of truth, knowledge, and understanding bestowed upon you by the Most High. You have to be willing to think outside the box, as I used to say. You have to be willing to think outside the box, and you can't be stiff-necked, hard-hearted, closed-minded. You have to be willing to accept the fact or accept the truth that there is truth in these other books that they don't want you to read. You get a better understanding of the Bible from reading these other books. So you have to be willing to research and learn for yourself. Don't just go off of what the church tells you or what your pastor tells you or what your preacher tells you, what your reverend tells you, what the Catholic priest tells you, what the Pope tells you, whatever they called in Islam and in the Jewish religion. The rabbis, you can't go off what the rabbis tell you. You can't go off of whatever they called in Islam. You have to research for yourself. You have to learn for yourself. You have to first unlearn everything that you've been taught, and then you have to relearn from the beginning. I would advise you to start wherever you have questions. Start at wherever you have questions, and then work your way around that. You don't necessarily have to start from the beginning in the book of Genesis and then, you know what I'm saying, go do your research. You can start wherever you have questions and then work your way around it, because it's going to come back around full circle eventually anyway. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for your support. I want to thank you guys for continuing to watch me. I want to thank you guys for your subscriptions, for your likes, for your comments. I want to, excuse me. Let me get some water real quick so I can end this video. Like I was saying, I just want to thank you guys for continuing. It's time for me to end the video. To watch my videos and to support my channel. So with that being said, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, and click that notifications button so you can be up to date on all my new videos. You'll get a little notification every time I post a new video. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.